Still muted. Hi, Londiwe, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good. I hope you're not driving, but I'm sure you're not.
Thanks for asking. If there's anything else,
Kulekani, can you put the camera on? Kholani. Okay, guys, you can put your cameras back off again. I just wanted to at least wave to you all and we can see each other face to face, and then I'm going to quickly take you through it. So just again, the introduction. My name is Charles Bolton. I'm the regional lead for the Wagwani Foundation in Africa, but I'm also going to be your facilitator on this FDP process. I'm going to take you through the process in a little bit more detail, so that we can clarify all of the unknowns, and you can ask us some questions and we can get that. But most importantly, we will also decide on an exact start date for the training to begin. So yeah, that's it in essence. I really want to start with I think the key question is when do we start this process? Now, from experience, I know that faculties like yourself, when you get back in the beginning of the year, there's a lot to do, but we need to basically have a consensus on the most ideal date. We will not be able to please everybody, but we will need to find consensus on the ideal date. And I don't want to nail that down just yet. We can get to that at the end of the program. So we have got from MUT, we have got 4 qualified faculty that are qualified to deliver the Ignite, or not qualified, but certified to deliver the Ignite program currently. Let me see if I can share their names with you. Give me a second. Now, these individuals have completed training last year. Ntombi, Zanele, Numalungelo, and Tulile have already completed the Ignite training, and they are able to facilitate the program on Ignite within MUT. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows who are certified and who is not. Now, to get certified, it's a bit of a process. But it's not too difficult. It requires a fair amount of commitment and dedication from us as facilitators to go through this train-the-trainer process before we can actually start deliver our own classes, which will be another question that we need to answer at some point, is when do you as individuals, when are you required to start with your class sessions on campus? Okay, so that I'm sure will be a next discussion that you might want to have with Kholelo or myself, so that we are on board to know when it is that you are required to start. But because the bottom line is you will not be able to start your own classes and deliver the Wagwani Ignite program if you have not completed the FDP process, as we call it, the Facilitated Development Process. Now, that Facilitated Development Process takes around 4 to 5 weeks to fully complete. Once we've defined the start date, you need to have that 4 to 5 weeks window in mind before you will be able to start delivering the program. That's very, very important to keep in mind at all times. So if we decide to start next week or the week after, there will be a 4 to 5 week period before you will be able to start delivering the program. I can only give you access to the platform and the program on certain conditions that needs to be completed, or certain baselines that need to be completed by all facilitators on the training. You need to attend 2 live sessions a week. Now, I understand life happens, things get in the way. If you cannot attend a live session, I will share the recording with you. But we cannot, if you skip more than 2 weeks, or if you skip a full week and you do not catch up, you won't be able to catch up. That is just the reality of it. I'm not gonna make it sound pretty and funny, because it's not. If you miss 1 week of training, to catch up is going to require a significant amount of time from you. So if you run behind or you cannot make a live session, and the class sessions will happen from around 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Now we can move that time slot slightly forward or backward depending on your sort of majority requirement. I cannot accommodate everybody. You will all need to make some sacrifices to be able to attend these live sessions and be able to commit to complete the FTP program. So there will be, for the first 3 weeks, once we have launched, there will be 2 live classes in the afternoons that I will facilitate. You will be required to attend. Those 2 live classes will focus on 2 things. The one class will focus on the program participation for you as a student. You as a facilitator need to complete the program on a fast track basis. This is a 12 to 14 week program for a student. We're going to be completing it within 4 weeks, 5 weeks at the max. So the first class session in the week will be on how to complete the program as a student. The second class session in that week will be on how to facilitate the program as a facilitator. So I'm going to take you through the 3 major milestones. That's why we have 3 weeks of live sessions. We will cover 1 milestone per week on a fast track basis, and you will complete that milestone every week on a fast track basis, so that we basically fast track complete the program, which gives you as a facilitator the full insight and exposure into the program and the content and the participation and the work that will need to be required by your students. Because then you will be able to help them and support them if you have done it yourself. Although it'll be fast-tracked, it won't be as in detail as the student will have to do it, but you need to be able to take them and understand the content and help them throughout the program. And the only way to do that is if you have completed it yourself. So that, again, the first 3 weeks will be 2 live sessions a week. 1 will be on participation as a student. Second one will be on using the platform and facilitation of the program. So that runs for 3 weeks. After that, week 4, we will have teach back sessions. Now, everybody, I know from the past, everybody's scared of this teach back session. We don't feel comfortable teaching or talking about the program. Guys, it's very informal. It's a relaxed session, 10 minutes live, that you will get the opportunity to select any component of the program, any class, any module, and do a 10-minute demo mock class session live, just to me and to Kgolela, because we just want to see that you are able and comfortable to use the platform and that you understand the methodology behind the program content. So you won't deliver a full class, 10 minutes live teach back demo session. That is it. So after you've completed those first sort of requirements, so in other words, you have completed the full night, submitted 3 milestones, submitted the 3 quizzes. There are 3 milestones, each with a quiz that you have to complete and submit. Then I will be able to give you access to the platform as a facilitator. You will be able to create your own cohorts on the class. You'll be able to enroll your own students into each and every class individually. You'll be able to deliver the content to them. You'll be able to see their work that they submitted. You'll be able to evaluate the work online that they've submitted. You'll be able to score it online as they've submitted it. You'll get full platform access functionality to allow you to run your first classes. Okay. After your first cohort is completed, so you've completed your first class over the 12 or 14-week period that you ran those classes, and your 70% of your students need to be able to complete I'm not saying they need to score the best, but 70% of your class needs to complete your class session or your program at least. That will then allow me to give you a certificate that you are now a fully certified Watwani Ignite program facilitator. If your first cohort doesn't achieve that, you can try again with your second cohort, but the 70% completion rate is what is required for us to be able to hand you a certificate for you as a facilitator to say that you are a certified faculty. I'm going to pause there and just, Kulela, if there's anything that I've missed that you would like to add, please jump in.
No, Charles, you covered it succinctly. Thank you.
Okay, so any questions so far based on what I've shared from anybody? Any questions, guys? Any question? Anything you are not clear on or anything you are unsure of? Please, Kulekane, please, you can, the mic is yours.
Morning, colleagues.
Mornings.
Yeah, no, I'm just checking here if I'm in the right space. I know the content is based on entrepreneurship, eh?
Correct.
Does one really need some background in the field? I come from English studies,
No, you don't.
so I've never done anything commercial.
No, you
So-
don't. And that's partly the reason why we get you to complete the program yourself as part of the training. Because once you've completed this, your entrepreneurial mindset will be open, it will be activated. You will have all of the insight that you would require.
Yeah,
So-
no, I'm thinking if yes, I will have gone through the program, but I think does it not really need any depth on my side in the field? Like I say, I've never done anything
Yes.
related to the. It feels like a microwave kind of.
It feels foreign. It might feel a little bit daunting. It's a field unknown to you, perhaps, but you shouldn't feel uncomfortable about it at all. So I think that what the program is good at is making you comfortable understanding entrepreneurship and helping you to get all of the insight. All of the content is be developed in such a way that it makes it so easy for a facilitator to deliver the program. All you need is to be able to understand the content yourself, and once you've completed the training, you will understand the content. You'll understand how to use the tools that the platform offer you. There are a significant amount of resources that is on the platform. There are class guides now that we've created. So there's an actual a class, how to prepare your first class, how to do every module. We've created how-to guides and help guides on each and every module of the program that the faculty and the facilitators will have access to as part of your facilitator platform. I can briefly show you some of it. Let me just see if I can open up my dashboard. So this is what the facilitated dashboard looks like. And you'll see that I've already created the 2026 Q1 Ignite FTP program here as a facilitator. It's called the Ignite FTP. We've got 19 students already enrolled in it. So if I click on this, this is now our program that we are all part of. I can see the cohort members. I can see who's enrolled. I can see who have not yet enrolled. But I can also see the digital library. I've got all of the resources at my disposal to help me facilitate this program as best possible, as a facilitator. So the digital library that I click on, you'll see that there are the latest articles, videos, all added here for you as a facilitator to make sure that if you don't have any, or do you have any doubts about any of the content or the module and not sure how to help and coach your students, it's there. The resources are there for you to help you do it better. If you click on, there's a help link now built into it where you can ask questions and the platform will answer it. If there's anything that you need clarification on or any tools that you require, it's there for you. we've built this platform now over the last, I can't even remember how many years, to make it as easy as possible for a facilitator to deliver the program as best possible. So there are anything that you need at your disposal to help you to do it easily. We've got facilitators, young guys, young people who have never done entrepreneurship before, that are fully embedded into the platform as facilitators, and they are very, very good at it. So no, you don't need to have to be an entrepreneur. It helps. If you're passionate about entrepreneurship, it helps. But I'm quite certain that after completing the program that you will be a lot more passionate about entrepreneurship yourself, and also understand, the best or the most suitable tools that this, to help your students perform the best and for them to do all of the best. I hope that answered your question, sir.
Yeah, in a way. Thank you.
Any other questions? None. Guys, please don't be shy. There's no wrong question, wrong answers, anything. If this is new to you, I fully understand. You might feel some, anxiety about it. But that's what Khulela and myself are here for. We're here to help you succeed. That's our job. As the Whatwari Foundation, the only way we can measure our success is through your own success. Yes, Kholani, you got your hand up.
Good morning, colleagues. Thank you so much. Now, my question is of the progression route. I'm not sure if that is what it's called. You said the progression into this program, it commences with the live classes weekly, which are 2 live classes. We have to do the presentation. Now, where I'm held is the final requirement, where you speak of milestone and completion of all quizzes. What about that? And also the last part, which is the start of classes. Is it all one progression route? What is the series of steps in there to the certification?
Okay. It's a very good question, and I think, yes, we need to get some clarity on that. So you'll see that the final requirements here, these milestones and the quizzes, I'm not referring to the platform access as such, but we will cover all of this over the course of these first 3 weeks. So each milestone you will complete in the first week. Well, the first milestone, the second. The milestones are all part of the classes, and I'll take you through the class content or the course content in a quick moment, so that will give some insight. But we will basically complete a milestone per week as a student. So we're going to do it at a little bit of a faster pace than what the students normally will do this. However, at each milestone, there's a quiz that the students complete. Now, I'm talking students because remember, you're going to take part as a student, but on a much faster, more compact pace than what a student will do. So students will need to complete 2 parts of the program. The first part is a theory part, and I'll show you how that sits now and what it looks like. And there's a practical part to it as well. So we're going to complete all of that together. Then at each milestone, there comes a point where the students submit the work that they've completed for milestone evaluation, where the facilitator then gets to see the work that they've done. Students work based on a cohort, and I'm going to take you through the program now on a high level so you'll understand that as well. But each milestone will be submitted and evaluated. So I will be the teacher evaluating you as a student at your milestone submission. So final requirements are again, we need to have all 3 milestones submitted from your end during the faculty training phase. You have to complete all 3 the quizzes that goes along with those 3 milestones during this faculty training phase. And after you've completed that, along with your teach back session, you will then get platform access, which means you can start creating your own classes on campus, in your classroom, enroll your own students, and start to deliver this program to your students. Kolela?
Hi. By the way, the platform actually itself is quite very self-intuitive. You will, even though Charles will be here to guide you through the process and the milestone and all of that, the first day that you actually enroll, you'll see that you can actually complete everything within the first week without anyone's intervention. It's quite self-intuitive. It's designed to be self-intuitive. And you will see when you are guiding students and teaching students, the most important one will probably be the first milestone and perhaps the financial component, so that they understand how to think about finances for their business. So please do not be nervous at any given stage, and I will be here whenever you need assistance to reach out to, and if you need assistance and guidance in anything, I will be here to assist you with that.
Okay, thanks for that, Kolela. So guys, really, this is just the content. So I'm going to take you through the content now quickly from a facilitator's perspective. Now, I always say during these FDP training processes that I will make it clear which hat you need to put on at which stage during the training. Because in one class, you'll have to put on your student hat, and in the other class, you'll have to put on your facilitator hat. So this is looking at it from a facilitator's perspective. The facilitator dashboard looks significantly different than what a student dashboard will look like. So this is a dashboard from me as a facilitator looking at the FDP program, which is the one, this is the train the trainer program. So the content is slightly different than the full one that the students will complete, but it's not entirely different. It's just been reworked so that we can use it for training purposes. Okay. So you'll see that we will have a different agenda to what students will have, but the modules will remain the same. So you see during the first milestone, or up to milestone 1, students will usually take 4 weeks to complete. There are modules 1, 2, 3, and 4 that they will complete. So at each module, and you can go into this, once you've enrolled onto the platform now as a facilitator to take part in this training, you will have access to this. So you can go in there and explore. You can't break anything. So go and explore. You'll see that there are certain, let's say, for instance, under module 1, problem identification. You can go in there and explore in the meantime as well. But there are certain mandatory modules to complete by students. So as a facilitator, I can see once my students have completed all of the milestones and submitted their milestone, they will, and part of the training will show you where to find it and how to find it and evaluate it. There's a quiz that gets completed at each milestone. So you can test and play with the quiz in the meantime if you'd like. You can. Just don't do it more than once. Okay. Because I'm gonna share as part of the training with you a few tips and tricks on how to make sure that you as a facilitator can complete the program as successfully as possible. It will be a few shortcuts that you can, if you want, share with your students in future or not, but I'm going to share it with you as a facilitator because, as I said before, we need to fast track this training process significantly in order for us to complete within the short space of time that we have. So we will take some shortcuts that students might not need to do or shouldn't do at all. Okay, so look at the quizzes, but don't complete. I think you get only 2 attempts. If you can play around with attempt 1, but don't do attempt 2 up until the point where I show you how to do it. You see, only 2 attempts allowed within 20 minutes. So if you mess up your 2 attempts now beforehand, you're going to have a problem, because when we need as facilitators to score as high as possible during these quizzes, and I will help you to score as high as possible. Okay, I will make sure that you do, but don't do it now and mess it up. And then once you've spent the 2 attempts, I can no longer help you to improve your score. Okay, so be very, very conscious of that. Be careful of that. But you can go in and play around with the content. You can look at the content. You can do the little beginner quizzes. Those are not tracked or evaluated by anybody. So you can play around with those beginner quizzes, test your own understanding and knowledge in the meantime. Feel free to do anything in the access that you have. But please do not complete the quizzes if you can. If you can at all, leave the quizzes alone until we get to that point where I can show and guide you. Now, once you've enrolled onto the platform, your dashboard will look a little bit different than that. Your dashboard will look slightly more towards this, you know. This is what a student's dashboard will look like. Now, this one is a demo one that I've created just to guide you through and help myself demonstrate it. Okay, so you will see, don't worry, but don't ignore Ignite 3.4, Ignite this. Yours will look like this. You will see Ignite Africa FDP on your main screen. If you click on the course, it'll take you to the course content. It looks like this. Very similar to what you saw on the facilitated dashboard, at least for now. This is where all of the theory is based. So as a student, we're going to go through all of the theory. Do not complete the quiz, although you'll see this quiz has been completed. Just again, this is a demo login. Do not complete the quizzes, but you can go in now and start, look at the program structures, read up on it, explore, go into this, you know. This is your course content. We will cover it in much more detail during our weekly class session, okay, for the first 3 weeks. Then next to it, you've got what we call the Venture Journey tab. So here you will create your venture. Now, the one that students will use will be slightly different because the students will use another tool that we've incorporated called the Passion CV. For us, we'll do the Passion CV, but slightly different. And remember what I said, the FDP training platform looks slightly different than what the students will be using. So you can go ahead and create your venture here. So if you click on create your team, it'll ask you to put in, be creative, think a little bit creatively about a business, give it a business, and give your business a name, you know, any name. You can call it Charles's Venture or your name Venture or whatever you like at this point, because we'll be able to change it. But the important thing is to create it, because that will be your test bench where you will apply all of the theory that we're going to cover. You're going to implement and test all of that on this practice venture. You know? So you don't have a website, so don't worry about that. But give it a name. Select an industry that you might feel comfortable with. So whatever your field of study is or your field of expertise is, use that. Use that as a guideline. Okay, that always works well. As a faculty, if I'm like, for instance, I think somebody mentioned that they are from languages or English and so on. Find something that relates to that. You know, if it's within education or training or you know, any skill, any interest that you have at this moment, or field of expertise or field of study. Find something as closely related to that as possible. I'm just going to say venture funding for now, in my case, just to show you the demonstration here. Then give it a description, what it is, your field of study, you know, exactly. If it's English language, type in English language. If it is engineering, type in engineering. If it is business studies, type in business studies, you know, it doesn't matter. The website, obviously, you don't have on a website. If you have one, put your LinkedIn there if you'd like, your LinkedIn link or something, but it's not a requirement, so don't worry about that. Select your country. We're all based in South Africa. There will be, however, I have to say, people from other countries joining us as well during the FDP. We're going to have participants from a few other regions in Africa, from Central Africa, Pan-Africa, West and East. Might even be a few joining us from Egypt. So our cohort is going to be quite diverse. Once we started, I think the majority of people now are from South Africa, if I'm correct, but there might be a few people from other countries joining us during the FDP as well. So it'll give you an opportunity as well to engage with them a little bit. And then select your country where you are, your city where you're based, and then click on next. I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it as a demonstration during the class again. Okay, so that is what you can do now. Once you've enrolled onto the platform and you are on the platform, then you will be able to go ahead and create your practice venture for the time being. Now I think it's time to discuss the start date. I would like to know from you, and you can just do it by putting up your hand. If the week, I just want to find my calendar here. Today we are on the 20th. If we start on Wednesday, the 28th, next week, will that be, no, I don't want to start on a Wednesday. I would rather start on a Tuesday. If we start on Tuesday, the 27th, with our first class, and then the following Thursday, the 29th, will be our second class for week 1. What's your take on that? Any opinions, any suggestions on a start date for us? Anybody? Any ideas, suggestions, opinions?
Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Now, I just want to bring to your attention that with MUT colleagues, we normally have evening classes, which ordinarily start at 4. So some of the days would be impossible to attend merely because
That's good feedback. That's good feedback. Do we need to make it an afternoon session rather? We can?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think one formula would suit everyone because these classes would normally start at 4 and all the way up to 8 in the evening. So as much as it may suit me, it will not suit the next person. I don't think there's much one can do about it, but just to make you aware. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good feedback. Thanks for that, sir. Kholani?
Thank you. In as much as we, yes, my colleague has a very valid opinion right there because I was looking at my timetable for this year, which according to our calendar, our classes commences on the 2nd of Feb on campus. So with that of evening filtered in, it just makes us not available at all for any learning. But now that you have that we have a platform like the platform you are showing us, I'm quite confident that we can do it. If we can have the recordings as well put in there. What was confusing me for a moment is the part where you said we might be left behind and if we do not attend the live session. Now that is what I was going to comment on. If we miss the live session but we are able to catch up, that could help instead of it making it much compulsory because it might not work for all of us, since it's going to be coming together with the academic calendar.
Okay, I think that's a good point as well. And on that, yes, like I said before, I say it's mandatory to attend the live sessions because what I've experienced, and I've done this a few times now, is that then people tend to lose commitment if there's no sort of basic requirement. Now, I know some of us are committed enough and self-disciplined enough to, yes, you can work on the recordings. You can take the recording. You can complete the content as quickly as you want. Now, but there are pros and cons to that. If you jump ahead of the class, you're going to make mistakes. If you don't keep up the pace, you're going to fall behind. Now, I know from experience again, people fall behind quite easily because there's always something that gets our attention, that demands more of our attention, that is perhaps more important at any given time, which makes us it's easy. A week is a very short space of time. I tell you, so much can happen in a week. We all know how quickly time goes by. And if you're not disciplined to keep to the weekly region of doing it, keeping it undone, doing the work required, which is quite a bit because we're fast tracking 12 weeks into 3 or 4 weeks, you can fall behind. And to catch up then becomes extremely, extremely difficult. So yes, it is possible to do it via recording. If you cannot attend the class, watch the recordings. If you need any sort of insight guideline, reach out to us, Kolelo, myself, via the WhatsApp group. By the way, I will create a WhatsApp group for this FTP program that we can communicate more directly on program issues. So I'll create that group and I'll send that invitation out to everybody who's enrolled onto the platform up until now. If you will be able to see the invitation pop up on your platform if you go to your main screen, your home screen, on your platform once you've enrolled, it'll look like this, not as completed as mine though, but you will see that there's a little message tab there. So I will share communication there as well, and I will share communication with you on the WhatsApp group. But I need to get everybody onto the WhatsApp group now, so I'll send out the link to enroll onto or to join our WhatsApp group via email, and I'll also post it on the platform for us all to be on that. I will share the recordings for each session every week. I'll share the recording for the session every week on the WhatsApp group, so that once the class is done, that same evening you will have the recording link to be able to watch that. Yes, Andy, how are you, sir?
Good morning, everyone. So a little bit late because student. My suggestion is that given the fact people have heard the saying issue of having evening classes, that how about if we start early run from 2:30 and maybe we push now up to 5 o'clock, so that those who are having 4 o'clock that they can make arrangement to start a little bit in that class 30 minutes, 15 minutes late, rather than because sometimes I hear some people can listen to the recordings and so forth. But with this program, my experience is that you can little bit be left behind, because if I know quite well that you organize live presenters. For me, sometimes very important that you move with the group, and sometimes I don't know, unless someone sometimes maybe those maybe 2:30 classes, but I thought that it would be if it can be feasible, unless on a particular day, then one or two people can inform that I'm not going to be around. But at least make sure that if we have in classes this week, next week don't miss, maybe the other week you attend and so forth, so that you move with the group that are left behind. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And I think that is where I was leaning towards to say, let's schedule the classes for 2:30 in the afternoon. If the majority of people can attend that time slot, that would be great. If you cannot attend it, watch the recording, but stick to the rhythm of doing it that day. The work that we cover during that day, please do that the day or the day after. Don't delay it. You can spread it over a couple of days, yes, but don't wait until the following week. Say, oh my word, last week I didn't complete milestone 1 last week. Now I have to do milestone 2. And now it's compounded into a huge amount of work, because that is what's going to happen if you fall 1 week behind. It will compound to a massive amount of work to catch up on. So absolutely, Eddie, thanks for that. I think that's worth considering, that we move the start time to 2:30 in the afternoon. If that is generally more accessible to everybody. Agreed? Any feedback on that? Kululeko?
Good morning, colleagues.
Morning.
This is Nkululeko Damo. Yes, I would like to support Edward's option of starting the classes at 2:30. I would really support that. Thank you.
Excellent. I think then we've got an agreement on that. Let's do that. So this is what will happen. Our first class session then will be, and I'm going to schedule that on the platform so that you guys can see it. I'll create the meetings there. So if I get my dates right, next week, Tuesday at 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm going to put it in my calendar now. So it'll be 2:30 up and 3:30, 4. We won't be busy for an hour and a half. I'm going to schedule the session for an hour and a half, but usually within an hour we are done. So if that is okay for everybody, for me to schedule it from 2:30 until 4, sorry, but we should be finished just about an hour or a little bit over an hour, but we hardly ever go a full hour and a half during a session. Okay, so I'm putting it onto my calendar now, and I'm going to share that meeting invitation with you all via email. Again, I'm going to use the email address that you used for enrollment onto the FDP, and I'll also share and I'll create the calendar links on the dashboard. Okay, so you'll be able to see the meetings on the dashboard. So there will be upcoming events there that'll pop up. I'll create the meeting here. On your end, it will pop up on your home screen as a calendar event. You'll see the calendar events pop up there. Okay, so I'm going to create those, and I'm going to create all of our sessions in advance so that all of the links are there, all of the class sessions are there on the dashboard calendar, but also on your email, on your meetings, and on your schedule. Okay. Now, with that said, and I think we've made some good decisions on that front. Who can share with us when is your expected? When do you expect to start teaching the program? And I know this might still not be clear to everybody at this point in time, so I'm not going to ask you to respond to me right away. But if you can respond to me via email over the next week or two, just so that we can get an idea on when it is that each and every one of you expect to start teaching this program in your own capacity, so that we can make sure that you are ready and that we are ready to support you. Okay. I think that is it for my side. Kgolela, anything you want to add or clarify or ask at this stage of the colleagues before we close off?
No, Charles, thank you so much.
That's it. Any final questions, any suggestions, any feedback, input, guys? If
can I come in again? Just
yeah,
another
sure,
question.
Yeah.
Do we work as individuals?
Yes.
You create your own individual venture?
Yes,
isn't it?
individually.
much.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
your students might work in teams, as we call them, going forward. But for the training, you work as an individual. You will create your own venture. You won't create or add team members. Each faculty needs to complete the program as an individual. And then going forward, your classes, yes, your students can work in groups of 4, 5, 6 combined in the program. Answer your question, Eddie?
Yes, answer. Thanks. Okay.
Excellent. Anything else from anybody else? Then I thank you all, guys. My final go away is please make sure that you have completed your onboarding onto the FDP cohort. That email was shared by myself and Kgolela with the link and the cohort code. So just follow that link, click on it, complete your details, insert your cohort code, and you're on board. Eddie, like yourself, you have done some training with us in the past, so you might already have a student email address that you've used in the past. If you have not onboarded, I think you have. I think I saw your name here.
You are already.
You've already onboarded. Yes,
yes,
you
have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you do have an existing student email address that you might have used in the past, you can then just join a cohort through it. But I think only Eddie, you're the only one so far that I know that have already worked with, trained with us in the past. Yeah. Then, guys, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting journey. Please communicate back to us at the soonest about your expected start date of your own classes, and also how many students it is that you think will join your class. Doesn't need to be an exact number. Just how many students do you think will be joining your classes? When will you have classes during the course of the year? Will there be a class in first half of the year, or in the second half, or first semester, second semester, which quarter? We just need to know a little bit of that so that we can also plan our support for you, but primarily to make sure that you are ready and warm to start when the time is right. Okay, that's it.
Just parting words from my end. If there are any colleagues who still wishes to join the FDP, please do reach out to me, and I will definitely send you the onboarding email, and I'll enroll you on the platform as well. We still have time. I think the first session is on Tuesday, correct?
Yeah.
So before Tuesday, anybody can still join the FDP. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks, everybody. Looking forward to see you all next week. Have a great week, and best of luck for 2026. I think it's going to be a groundbreaking year for us all. I've just got this feeling in the seat of my pants that 2026 is going to be an excellent year. And I wish you all the best of luck. And
well, my question is on this on board what topic I'm hearing now.
Yeah.
And that is us being able to log onto the portal or what the platform. That is what you're mentioning.
Yeah. So if you received that email from myself or Khalela, and you follow the steps, you would have enrolled onto a platform. Your platform will look something like this. You know, it will be not as red depending on your browser, but you will have this Ignite FDP. When you click on that link that I've shared, you'll use the same link with your username, password that you've created to be able to access the platform.
Okay. No, I do see it. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Guys, any further questions, please reach out to us. I will create the WhatsApp group, share out the invitation links to you all. There's a lot of stuff coming your way over the next couple of days to make sure that we're all ready and on board for next week, Tuesday, 2:30. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Best of luck. Speak to you all soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.